It's a bit cold this morning to be putting vertical flue in, but we'll get the snow swept off. The reason the base has gone like that is because I know they've drilled a little hole in it, but it's not had the airflow underneath and it just rots it out. So we're going to have to build a bit of a new base on this cylinder, I think. Heavy snow this morning. This is supposed to be a 2-lane road, but you can only see one lane. I can't see the white line in the middle. Right, we are on our way to this oil boiler job, as I've already said. I've got one of the brickies giving me a hand today because there's no way they're laying bricks in this weather. This should be a straight swap. It's just Firebird. We came to look at the other week where we couldn't valve it off. It's got a big hole in the bottom of it, it's split. So we've gone Firebird for Firebird, so we don't have to alter any of the iron pipework. It's worked out cheaper for the customer. Putting a new flue in, new burner, and yeah, it should just be a case of swapping it across and then we can get the heat in. Basically, as soon as we get the boiler bolted in, we're going to get the heating back up and working for him, and then we can work on the flue. It shouldn't be too bad. As I say, he's giving me a hand. We have got access to a fork truck as well if we need it as well. So yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. I'm not sure how much footage I'm going to get today. I'm losing my voice as well. I've got a wheel in the back of my throat. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's just been cold, really, really cold as well, down to my bones. You know, you just get like it, don't you? But anyway, we're going to go see what we can do anyway. I'll try and get some footage if I can, and yeah, we'll catch you on the job. So we're changing this boiler today. I've literally just dropped the burner off it. I've disconnected these unions. I've just got to lift the flue up a little bit. It's bracketed, so it'll probably hold on the bracket, and then we can drag this boiler forward. We've got a pallet truck. That's the new boiler. It looks like it's going to be a straight swap. We've got the burner and all the new flue bits and everything. Wherever we put all the flue bits behind there, so it shouldn't be too bad, this one. It's just got a hole in the bottom. I came to it the other week, it's absolutely pouring out the bottom. So we're going to get it swapped across. And we'll probably leave that burner there as a spare for either this one or that one then. Just a bit of drop in it, isn't there?
Yeah, a bit more than that, aren't there?
Yeah, I thought there would be. It'll stop in a minute.
It will.
It's a bit cold this morning to be putting vertical flue in, but we'll get the snow swept off. At least we've got this roof to work off. Oh, I can't feel my hands. We'll be alright. Make a orgy snow as a trophy. It's coming. One more turn, Del boy. It's because it's pumped full of silicone, which is.
Knock it down a bit.
I'll try and knock it down. I might pull the gasket in though. It might pull the rubber in for the slate. It's just silicone that's holding it.
The rubber's on the front.
It's literally just pumped full of silicone. We was just getting caught on that bit there, but it's free now. As soon as you get it red hot, it'll go, you know. It'll pop off. Not pop off, but it'll come off a hell of a lot easier than it was. And it warms you up a bit as well, because my hands are freezing. Gloves. Don't wear gloves, can't work in gloves. Yeah, I think they probably will.
They keep flying under the radar, but it says Arsenal, Man City, Arsenal, Man City, Arsenal, Man City, but I don't even think they're in it.
But Man City?
Either of us. If they're not careful, Liverpool's running away.
We've got it all back on a pallet, so we can screw that back down and we can put it on the pallet truck, and hopefully we'll have a bit of a clean up here and just get the new one bolted straight back in. We've got it all bolted back in, it's all lined back up perfect, which is what we want. Oh, I just put a bit of jet blue on my union faces. So once I get these PRVs and that put back in and that pocket, we can actually fill this one up and then we can get that boiler running then. We're just filling it up to 1 bar, the water pressure is a bit poor here. And then we can open these main valves back up. Let's go around the system now. There's auto air vents at the high point. The pipes go up and then they actually drop down and then they go up again. So they should have put some air taps up there, but they didn't. And then it feeds fan convectors high level, but they have all got auto air taps on. So that's been filling about, I don't know, 5 minutes now, but the pressure is so low. It's nearly, well, we're at 0.6 for a bar, aren't we? She's nearly at a bar. To be honest with you, I don't think the pipes go up 10 metres, so it should be okay anyway. It's probably, we probably only needed 0.4 of a bar to make it work. So we'll just switch that off. That's an RPZ valve for fluid cat 4 water. I've just struck that one up, so it should give them some heating now. Pump's a bit aerated. That one's pluming away nicely, isn't it? Are you alright, Glenn? Will it turn? Are you there? Yeah, no worries. It's easier when you can feel your fingers, you know. Beautiful. I've just got the weather collar to pop on, which goes around the top of the slate. Never had one on before, but I'm going to put it on, I think. You just whip the front off it to make sure all the baffles are in position. That's your secondary exchange on these. All your fins don't need pushing back in, actually. When the boilers are in transit, they can tip up.
Sorry?
So when the boilers are in transit, you end up losing all your bits out your secondary heat exchanger. They're alright, aren't they? Brand spanking nice, shiny new one. Beautiful. To twin pipe these, because we've got a tide loop, you have to remove that little screw out of there. So you have to take the front off the oil pump, take that Allen bolt all the way out and take the washer out. And then just tighten that back in without the washer. That converts it to a 2-pipe. Just setting the burner up on this. It should tell you somewhere what the pump pressure is. It says it's been set to 7 bar on air, which is where it's at and tested. But I'll find it in the instructions. I need to sort the electrics out as well because we ain't got a permanent live down at the thing. I can take one from here. We've only got a switch line, but the old one was wired. Where's the old plug gone? It had only got live neutral and earth, but they were using that as a switch, but we need a permanent feed down here now as well. So for the time being I've just linked it out to make it run. But yeah, it should be alright. I'll get it set up and then I'll just run some new flex down from there. I've got that to change as well. We're getting on. Yeah, we're getting on. The air's quietening down as well. It's not bouncing around as much. We're getting some return temperature. Yeah, we're getting solid return temperature. Return temperature's down there. 61. And our flow's at 70-ish. Getting some lovely temperature. Don't know if them air valves would be tough to get to, wouldn't they? Up there. Right on the top. That pipe stat. What's it been set to? Can't see that one.
No, I can't make that out.
I'd have thought that should be blowing though, because the pipes are up. That other one was set on 90, it would never work. That one set on 58. But that is on the... It's on the flow as well, the other one's on the return. The return's not getting very hot. That should be that pipe's set on the 58, I know. Must be that's set on 30. Both the pipes are getting up, but it's not working on them pipe starts. See, the summer mode will just recirculate the air, but it's not working in winter mode. And pipes are red hot. Needs a bit more air, that. CO2's down a bit. Bit more air, bring them down a touch. Tells you on here your CO2 depending on your outside temperature. Well, we're only about 2 degrees out there, I'd say, no hotter than that. So our CO2 should be about 11.7. So we're a bit high at that 12.5. Can wind the air a bit. So we'll heat down here. They're coming down a bit. So 2 degrees outside. Yeah, about 11.6, 11.7. That's 11.8. Give it one more turn of air. That should bring that down. It was all working, right? And I've just literally, as I was packing my tools up, it's gone really dark now, isn't it? As I was packing my tools up, the thing stopped. So I stripped it all down. The glass tube is wet through. The photo cell is not seeing the light, but the photo cell's not reading quite right, I don't think. So I spoke to, I've got to give him some mobile number, some guy from Firebird. And he says drill a hole in the diffuser, but it's seeing the light. It's not that. He says, oh, they won't come out to it until I've drilled a 4mm hole in it. So I think I'm just going to buy a photo cell myself. Haven't got one for that burner, but that's all that's wrong with it. It doesn't need a hole drilling in it. I don't know why they're saying that, because that's against their instructions anyway. You shouldn't need to go against manufacturer's instructions to make stuff work. So yeah, it was all going so well. Sorry I didn't get much footage. I've just been under the weather. I absolutely feel crap. But at least they've got one boiler going now, so they're happy, I think. But obviously they're like, oh, the brand new boiler's not working. For God's sake. But you can see why I went for a Firebird, because it was a straight swap. If you put a, I don't know, if you'd gone for a Worcester 5070, you got all the pipe with 12 and everything. But yeah, it was going all right, and then it won. Story of my life. I thought I'd update you on that Firebird boiler. I had a bit of a row with them. Well, I don't know if I had a bit of a row with them or not really. Basically, they gave me a number for a service guy, their repair guy, and I rang him and he told me to drill a 4mm hole in the. I said what was happening. The blast tube was wet through with oil. He says, oh, it's because it's not seeing the light. He said drill a 4mm hole in the diffuser in line with the photo cell so you can see the light. I said, well, why are you sending boilers out which you know, in theory faulty? If you bought a new TV from Curry's, they wouldn't tell you to drill a hole in it so the remote could see the sensor, would they? So I says, I'm not doing that, mate. I says, you'll have to come out and do it. If you're going to do that, you have to do it yourself, because it's not in your instructions. Anyway, they came out to it yesterday, and I want there. I want on site because I couldn't be about. So my brother was actually doing an electrical job there. He's an electrician. I sent him across. He said he was a right grumpy bugger. But what they've done is they've changed the whole front on that burner now so you can see the light. But why they send boilers out with burners in that don't work is beyond me. But straight away, it worked for a bit, as you saw in the video, because I commissioned it all and everything, and then it just went to lockout. Just as I packed my tools up and I was freezing cold, I was fed up, and I stripped it all down. I thought, is it not getting fuel? You're checking everything, aren't you, at that point? You know, is it something I've done wrong? But in the end, I just rang him up, and the service guy was a bit, well, he said, oh, it's because it's not seeing the light, and then he put the phone down on me because he was driving, and then I rang him back and says, what do you mean? I'm not drilling a hole in that anyway. So we had a bit, we didn't have a row, I just said I'm not doing it. And he says, oh, fine, we'll have to send somebody out. But he said, we don't normally send people out until you've done that. I was like, well, it's not very good, is it? Anyway, I'm just on my way to fit a cylinder now. I've had a bit of a nightmare already this morning. I'm fitting a, you don't do many vented cylinders anymore, but I ordered a stainless one. Nobody keeps a 900 by 450 cylinder in stock anymore. Can you believe that? Years ago, everybody used to, every plumbing merchant would have a 900 by 4 or 36 by 18, whatever you want to call it, cylinder in. But everybody seems to get the stainless ones now, which is fair enough, but you need the special immersion heaters for them. And I ordered the immersion with it, and they said they've got one in stock, and they couldn't flipping find it, could they? Anyway, I managed to get one from somewhere else. How hard is it to get an immersion heater in a cylinder nowadays? So I'm off to fit that now. Hopefully it goes okay. I don't know if I'll be able to get any footage, but I've only got one picture on this job. Another plumber's been out and drained it down, but the base looks a bit rotten, because it looks like it's, well, the cylinder's been in since 1972 and the base looks a bit rotten on it, so we'll have to go out and have a look. Yeah, I'm sure we'll be fine. If not, I'll have to build a new base and then we'll put the cylinder in and then we'll sort everything out. If it goes on too long, I might include this bit in another video, or if I can't get any footage, I don't know, we'll go out and have a look, man. I'll make a new base for this as well. See, somebody's been out and capped it off because that snapped, but it's got no airflow under the cylinder, so they tend to rot the board out. So we'll put a new board and they just literally put some lat across to lift the cylinder up so you get the airflow. 1972. It is a fully pumped system. It's a gravity coil that's been in, but it's been upgraded, so I've got a pumped coil, so that's fine. There are flow returns dropping down, so we'll probably get some valves on them in the airing cupboards. We'll change them AAVs. We'll probably just bung the tank off. I'm not sure where it's been isolated because that cold feed snaps off on the cylinder, so whether they've bung that tank or they've tied the ball valve, but we'll have to have a look. We'll get a new lever valve on the cold feed into the cylinder. Boiler's over there. I mean, it's probably going to airlock when we fill back up. They look a bit crispy, don't they? But it shouldn't be too bad. It's not too bad, this one. Yeah, she's got a standard 3-port on it. Yeah, sweet. I'll get the cold feed for the heating bunged and the vent bunged. That vent goes up a long way, doesn't it? Goes right to the top. Not sure why they've done it like that, but they have. Yeah, we'll sort it. So this tank is empty. They have shoved a bit of copper in the cold feed, but I'm guessing they've isolated it on that stop tap there. So what I'm going to do is cap this cold feed off, cap that vent off, and then we can get some valves on that primary pipework down to the cylinder. There will be a drop in it when we cut into it because it's on a drop. There is a drain off tap on it, but it looks really old. So I might just get the wet vac and put some valves in there. And that gives us full control of the system then. We could even get the heating back on. That one in the cold feed. Oh, water's cold this morning. And then I've just got a compression cap end for the vent. I've isolated this in the fuse board as well, just in case you catch that switch. And there should be, I think immersion should be on an unfused fuse spare as well, so you can't even take the fuse out on them. Sometimes you do see them with the fuse in, but I've isolated it. If you catch that switch, it literally, you can blow a hole in the side of the cylinder. That drain off tap is actually working a bit, so this is draining the coil. You can see the distance between the coil. There used to be, that's what you call a gravity coil, because it was designed to work on not a pump system, whereas the new one, where the coil is, they're a lot closer together because they're designed to work on fully pumped. I think it's still draining a bit, but we'll see if we get these done. This may be Imperial pipework on this, 1972. It's a possibility. I don't think my bung's held in the cold feed. I think it's one of them that has ribs on it, but it's only drained. The water's off the tanks anyway, so it's only drained the tanks down. It matters not really, as long as we don't flood the place. A drop in there, but not a lot. Yeah, we'll just let that bottom one finish draining out. Yeah, she had 2 gate valves on the feed, but I don't think either of them will work, so we'll get these changed for lever valve. I will put a gate valve on the primary return, just so I can balance the coil. It's like a lock shield, that's the only thing I use gate valves for. One thing I don't have is a 22mm olive cutter, but normally you can slide them off like that. '72. In the club with you in 1972. Probably got about 15 inches of scale in the bottom of that cylinder as well. The reason the base has gone like that is because I know they've drilled a little hole in it, but it's not had the airflow underneath and it just rots it out. So we're going to have to build a bit of a new base on this cylinder, I think. But I'm not sitting it on that rubbish. So I've used the original frame because there was nothing wrong with that. So I've just got 2 bits of 1/2 inch ply and I've got some 2B1. What that 2B1 does, it acts as an airflow under the cylinder and it stops that from sweating that board. And it stops it rotting out, as you see how the old one was done. I know they drilled a hole, but it just didn't give me enough airflow. So a couple of bits of 2B1 and that's all set. I just need to screw that on and we can get the cylinder in position then and start piping it up. You have to use the correct immersion heaters in these stainless cylinders as well, so that's why I had to go and get one this morning. I can lift this back out and show you, but basically it's the one with the O-rings on and they're stainless all the way down, so that's a 27-inch immersion. If you use the other ones, I made the mistake once years and years ago when I was an apprentice. It rotted out after about 3 months. It started leaking out the thermostat gasket. So they are a different immersion heater for them. For these cylinders. The good thing about these stainless ones is they come straight to copper on all your connections. So I'm hoping this vent pipe needs to rise off the top of the cylinder, but I might be able to sneak an M&F in there and have it rising across there. If not, I'll have to alter it from that T. That cold feed, we're dropping a new one down anyway, so we'll have to put a drain off tap on there. Drain off tap on this side, I might press that up out of position. That one, again, I might cut that pipe there, press it in position and then just drop the cylinder in, if that makes sense. Sort of make up as much as I can out of position. Well, let me just see if I've got a 22mm street elbow. I think we're just going to get that because we need to have a rise off there. I picked up some 3/4 olives for this as well, but I think I don't know, I can't tell. It may be 3/4 that. I know that pipe's painted. I think that's probably 3/4. Let me just get a standard olive on it. I think it is 22. Sometimes with these older systems and pipework, you do see a lot 3/4 still about. It's 15.5 inch you get away with. Inch and 28 you're fine with, but 3/4 and 22 it's miles different, but I'm sure that's 22mm. You tell straight away because the olive would be so slack. So as sure as we had to clean that up and then press onto there. I think that pipe's YTW. I don't know if you can press onto it. I think I might use compression just where I'm joining on. You can tell by the weight of it, there should be a red band, but you probably can't see it because it's been painted. If I get a minute at the end, I'll clean some of it up, but it's a lot thinner. It's paper thin copper, Yorkshire thin wall. You can tell when I cut it, it started to crush already. It's because it's so thin. I don't know if you can press it. Yeah, that's what it is. So I might just use compression. Clean them ends up. Just get my coil piped through. I've got, where have I put it? A drain off tap going at the bottom so you can drain that coil back down, but I'm sticking that drain off tap a bit further out like that, something. And then I'll put a balance valve on my primary return just so it acts like a lock shield like you would on a radiator valve, so you can dacker that coil right down. Otherwise sometimes it'll rob the radiators. I know it never had one on before, but that's how I've always been taught to do it. So you just got to pick these two back up. I'm going to get that side done first, and this side I can more or less make up out of position, and then the hot will go straight in. What's going on? My gun. My gun's not working. Battery's charged. That's weird. Using press fit is just a little bit quicker and it makes my life a little bit easier. That's the only reason. I hate it when they put tape on pipe, like manufacturers and merchants and stuff. Yeah, it ends up spending longer cleaning your pipe than you do doing the job sometimes. This is where you open out the spanners come in, because you can't even see that nut, but you can grip onto it. I know there's not a lot of space there. Let's just get the bottom one. If I can find the bottom one, it's there. I didn't want to cut the lagging off, to be honest with you. As long as they're They're tight, they're all pressed in, drain off tap on the bottom. Can you even see? So it should be alright. We've got to try and get some lagging on these as well. When you change a cylinder or a boiler, you've got to lag the pipe work. But you can only ever do your best. We've just got the hot to do now and the cold feed in. Hopefully I've got another drain off tap in the van. I only brought one with me because I wasn't expecting the coil to drop down from the top, but I think I should have one somewhere. Cylinders was one of them jobs when I was a kid. It's always used to bother me. I don't know why. Just get control of the job. I used to get sent to a lot of them. You don't do many anymore because everything seems to be combi and unvented, doesn't it? Get that nipped up. You can see we've got a little rise off that, which is what we wanted. We're getting there. That's the primary side's piped up. The hot's done. We've just got the cold feed to do. Just nick my finger a little bit. You see, the thing is, when I was an apprentice, I always used to use the drain off taps on the bottom. I always used to get in a mess. I'm going to put one on here, but nobody uses them. I just siphon them out. It's far quicker, far easier. Struggling to get your siphon, just stick it on your wet vac. And it used to take me ages to drain them down, then you was under pressure. So I know this one was drained down for us because the cold feed had been snapped off. But yeah, I'd never ever bothered with the drain off taps. Just suck them out. It's quicker, it's easier. Well, it's draining down, you can get all your cylinder prepped up and everything. I know these come pre-prepped now. Years ago you had to put your main lines in or your tank connections on whatever you used to use. I still need to find my immersion spanner. It's ages since I've done an immersion here. I think I've got two immersion spanners in the van. I've definitely got one. If not, I'll tighten in with my Stilsons. It's one of them things that gets buried in the bottom of your box. You know, immersions, you used to know any of them, but again, I've not done one in ages. So we'll tighten that immersion in before we fill up. We'll get this cold feed done. I'll have to get another drain off tap out of the van, straight up onto our lever valve. And that'll be job done, we can get filled up. Cylinder stack just wants to go 1/3 up. I don't know where the strap for it's gone, so I'll have to have a look if we've got one in the van. To be fair, the lagging might hold it on anyway. If not, I'll get a load of cable ties. Or I'll have to go and get a strap. We'll do something with it. It wants to go 1/3 up on this. Bit of pipework lagging. And yeah, hopefully we've got no leaks or any problems. So I popped a drain off tap on that bottom so you can drain the cylinder if you want to that way. I couldn't find my immersion spanner, so I just brought in my big grips. We'll nip it up with that. It doesn't need to be very tight. They're O-ringing on these anyway. So literally it's just a nip. And then we can get filled up. I can wire the immersion heater up while it's filling, cut the cylinder stack while it's filling. And then we've just got to pop some lagging on this pipework the very best we can, and that should be job done if we've got no leaks. My bung wasn't in properly, that's why it took a little bit longer to drain. I might just give this header tank a little bit of a clean out as well, but the water was off anyway. At least we know the cold feed's not blocked. That's one good thing. It looks like it's had a new ball valve in there recently. That one's quite old. So I'm just literally gonna, if I clean that tank out, turn that water on, we'll uncap that vent, and we'll get everything filled back up. Oh, do we change that as well? Probably going to change that as well because that's going to come back and bite me. We'll get that changed. Anything else we need to do? Well, we're up here. Everything's lagged, isn't it? Yeah, it should be alright. There are all the heating pipes. I don't know if there's any other high points, but we'll see what works and what don't. We should be able to force it through anyway. So it's sometimes where do you stop with a job? You know, you're only here to sort of change your cylinder, but yeah, we'll do all you can ever do is your best. We'll get some inhibitor in here as well because we've drained it down. And yeah, that should be alright. I don't know where my other bungs have gone. I've got 3 of them because I found one of them on a vent pipe when I went up in a roof once. But 2 of them I've seemed to have misplaced. I always keep them in like the driver's side pocket thing of the van. But whether I've chucked them in my toolbox when I've been busy, I don't know. I used a 22 cap end on this one, which I have taken off. Because you always got to remember to take your vent off. It is, as I say, one of them I found on a vent pipe in a roof. So we'll switch this and get this fill in, and we'll nip down. Oh, what's spraying out? That ball valve spraying out, look. On the side there, look. We'll have a look at that as well. Spraying out and hitting me in the face. To be fair, this one I only filled. That water level set way too high in that as well. Let's just switch that off. I noticed the water level was a bit high. They've had a new ball valve in and they've not bent the arm down. You don't need it right to the top on a heating tank. Switch that one on, and this will get the cylinder filling up. Make sure we've got no leaks. The heating side's already filling up. Cylinder stack needs to be set at 60 to kill the Legionella. Some people will turn them down a bit, but really you should leave them at 60. I might have to try and find a tie in the van for that. It should have one to press it back. I mean, the cylinders are what, they're 35mm thick now, the lagging I think it has to be. Make sure it's all clean off so it gets a good contact. You see it's stainless behind there. But if I haven't got a wrap, I'll have to either go and get one, or I'll just have to use some cable ties to hold it back. I mean, it should be okay, but I'm not that happy with it. We'll fill on this hot. There might be a bit of air coughing and splurting. There's not going to be a lot of pressure on this though, because it's only tank fed. I'm just re-ending the cables. Apparently you shouldn't clamp back down on the same piece of copper again in case it breaks off. There's nothing wrong with the flex. Sometimes they go a bit like charred on the end, especially on the immersions if they've been loose. But yeah, I always leave the earth one a little bit longer as well. So in theory that should be the last one to pull out. But these literally just wire up. That's your earth block there. And then you've just got live and neutral on these, so it's just a case of tightening them up. The immersion's only a backup on this one, as I say, anyway, because it mainly went on the coil. I've had to cable tie this. I thought I maybe had a strap in the van, but I've hunted high and low. It's virtually the same as a strap, it's just got the little knobbly bits on, but I've cut them short. It'll do the job, it just holds that back. I just didn't want that dropping off, and then it'll just, well, over temperature, it'll just run whenever it wants then. I think I've got an airlock across the top anyway. The pump's running, but the boiler just keeps tripping out on its overheat. So I might have to go up and bleed the, just depends how well, I'm surprised it doesn't, it maybe come through in a minute, is what I'm trying to say. My flow's getting nice and hot, but the boiler just keeps tripping out. I think we're getting to the bottom of it there. That's like a bypass. With a 3-point you don't need a bypass valve, so that one can be short. There's no return getting up to temperature, so the return's absolutely dead. Sometimes if you sort of stop and start the pump, I think it's actually gone a little bit weak on speed 3. It sounds faster on speed 2. I think that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. But 2 sounds faster. Pump going that way, pushing it through the Y plan into the AB. B for hot water, and A for heating. What happens if I open that a minute? Does that give it a bit of return? That might push the air out of it. Might not. Pipe's getting up now. I'll keep that one shut. It's the thing with like bungalows and stuff, you do sometimes struggle with air. But I'm not that keen on draining them. You can hear the air, can't you? The pipe's gone cold now. I'll go and reset the boiler again. It'll push through. I'm not very happy with that pump valve, but it's not actually leaking now. But it's airlocked on that return, I think. I'll just crack that bleed screw. I didn't really want to touch that one, but it's not liking it. Jogs all the air out of it. If it was pressurised, you'd probably get away with it, but because there's no head on it, it can't push it round. Come on. Full of air, isn't it? Full of air. I don't take it over. Is it coming up? There you go, that's water. It should be full. Oh, you don't want that long way, don't I? It's going to shut. Oh no. Crap. Ah. It does shut. Blimey. What's that saying? Flow's getting hot. Return is still cold though. System is making some strange noises. I think it's just air. I've lagged this all the best I can. It's a little bit tight at the bottom, but it is a requirement, so I've just done it. Nobody can say I haven't then. So I've just done the top and then the cold feed. That bit could do with the tie on it. It's because it's on an M&F, it's a bit tight, but it's not too bad. Radiator, I've just flicked the radiators on. That one is coming up, to be fair. The coil, I think, is still airlocked. We'll get it going. This one won't get hot, so I've been around, switched everything off, and that pipe's blasting through. I've just missed it off camera, but you get that sound. Just airlocked up in the roof. That pipe is red hot now, so this will come through. It's already coming through, to be fair. So that's the thing with bungalows, you sometimes get airlocks across the top. So just switch everything off apart from the one you're struggling with, and it'll generally come through. I think that'll do me for this week. I've felt rubbish all week. I do enjoy my job, but weeks like this do test you. Still got a sore throat and stuff, but I'm getting better. I feel a lot better. I've woken up every day with a headache as well, which don't help. Just dose yourself up on ibuprofen and paracetamol and get through, don't you? You've got to. Pleased that boiler's all sorted. Pleased that cylinder's all done. I've done loads of other jobs this week, but I've just not had the energy to film. I've just been concentrating on trying to do my thing, as you do. But yeah, that job's all sorted. I've checked all the radiators, all the hot water's getting up to temperature. Cylinder wasn't quite at 60 when I left, but it's clicking off at about 50, so I'm sure it'll click off at 60. So yeah, I think that's another one all sorted and done. I'm probably going to go for a hot bath now. So we'll catch you all on Monday if I have time to edit a video. No, it's going to be Friday. This is Monday's video. Friday. I don't know. We'll catch you all when we catch you. Thank you for watching.